Welcome to the Girl Gang. I'm Katrina Gardner of Katrina and Create.
And I'm Dominique Goyette-Connerty of Evergreen Marketing. On this show, we're going to chat with women business owners in Massachusetts and those who support local women in business.
Because girls don't just want to have fun. They also want to sell real estate.
They want to open a brewery.
They want to teach others to invest in the stock market.
They want to take stunning photos, plan lavish parties, and help people recover from injuries.
Girls just want a podcast.
What can we say?
We're girls.
Welcome back. Girls Just Wanna, back at it again. Okay, I have a thing that's been happening yet again that has been kind of bugging me.
Let's hear it.
Okay, so you meet someone in the professional sphere, work-related, I'm talking. And they're like, oh, we should connect, or we should set up a meeting, or, you know, I'll follow up with you on XYZ thing. You give them a business card and or potentially say, oh, send me an email, because they already have your email. Instead of doing that, they reach out via Instagram DM.
Okay.
And then you're like, okay, you respond to the Instagram DM like, yeah, like, let's set something up, like, send me an email, because like I have like a, you know, not a Calendly, but I have like a Google Calendar link, or they might have a Calendly, like, which I'm not going to send over Instagram DM. Just like send me an email so we can book something, right? Like I'd say email is my preferred form of communication business wise. I understand that some people, that's like I can be flexible, like we can do your preferred communication, right? But I say send me an email. They send me an Instagram DM. I respond to the DM. I say, oh, you know, send me an email so we can get it on the Google Calendar or whatever. So they do that. We have a little email exchange. They follow up with a phone call. I don't answer because it's after hours. They leave a voicemail. They send a text message. They hit me back in the Instagram DMs. Can we stick to one form of communication? I'm like, I can't have all these separate combos. Then there was like someone who was like, oh, I'd love to connect. Like we had met at something. Oh, I'd love to connect. And I had given out my business information, like my business email, my business Instagram. And instead of just literally clicking those links, they searched my name and they found my personal Instagram. And they followed me on my personal Instagram, which is like, I mean, there's nothing wrong. Like, also, I don't care if you follow me on my personal Instagram, but like, you're not going to get much value out of that because you're a professional contact. So like, why didn't you follow my business Instagram? So they'll follow me on my personal Instagram, DM me. And then I said, would you mind going to my business Instagram? Like, I don't want to talk about work in my which like, maybe that's just me being particular and kind of a pain in the butt. But it's like, I set up these other channels to try and have a little bit of separation between personal life and professional life. So I'm like, oh, follow me over on my business Instagram. Then they had my phone number. So they texted my business phone. So they text my business phone, which is fine. But also I said, send me an email. And it's like
simple instructions.
It's real, I just will say, send me an email, and they will do literally anything else.
People be hating email, man.
And that's fine. But then say that to me. Just be like, oh, well, do you mind if I text you? No, that's fine. And we can have the conversation over text back and forth. But what I'm experiencing is I'll say, send me an email, and they'll do everything but, and we'll be having the same conversation across business Instagram DMs, across email, across my business phone text message. They'll leave me a voicemail. Like, it's like, can we just pick one? If you want to do text, great. Let's text back and forth. Fine. But I can't be doing the same conversation with the same person across 5 different, you're reaching out to me on every possible platform where I can be reached. And I would just like to streamline this communication.
It's funny because you're saying all of this and I'm thinking about how I'm talking to like one potential photography client on my personal Insta DMs. And I'm talking to another potential photography client through text. And then someone just emailed me about some photography equipment that I'm trying to sell, which was a great move because I've been trying to sell it on Facebook Marketplace. And as we've talked about, I hate Facebook Marketplace. So it's listed there, but I never check my messages. So this person like found me because they really want it. I'm like, this is great. Thank you. But I'm like, oh, I'm Dominique's problem. I'm the person. But I think
it's me. Hi.
I'm the problem, it's me.
And again, like, I'm not trying to be like, oh, well, I'm only going to talk to people if they email me.
Right.
Like, I am more than happy to, again, because also, like, you have to be flexible in the professional world, especially in these cases. I'm not talking about a prospective client, like someone I'm trying to make money off of.
Yeah.
But especially with, like, clients, right? Like, I've been to their will a little bit to, like, meet them where they are. So, like, if a client was like, oh, I want to text back and forth, okay, like, I'll do that.
Yeah.
But it's just like, I just want you to pick one form of, because then I have a client, right, who will text had my personal number before we started working together. So they'll text my personal number about a work thing. They'll text my business number about a work thing. They'll email me about a work thing. And it's just like, it just kind of, for one reason or another, like, there's no real rhyme or reason. It's just like whatever they're feeling like that day, they'll just send. And it's like, I never know when to expect communication from them, like on which platform, because there's no like reasoning or logic.
It's also a lot more streamlined for your business if it's all in one place.
It's like I'm trying to keep conversations. Yeah. So annoying.
Yeah. No, I think it is a thing.
I also hate when people call and leave a voicemail. And then they send you a text message or an email saying, hey, I just called you and I left you a voicemail. Yeah, I know, like, they'll immediately, like 60 seconds after leaving the voicemail, they'll hop on email or text. Yeah. It's like, yeah, I know. Yeah. Do you think that following up with a text or an email the immediate second after is going to get you, like, a faster response? Like, I obviously didn't answer because, like, I was busy with something else or my phone was in the other room. Like, I'm just like, I don't know. It seems so pushy.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Brutal.
I also get people that reach out to me through LinkedIn DM about, like, connected, like, we, like, have previously worked together, and then it's like, this has happened a couple times, like, oh, like, I'd like to reconnect about me or whatever, and I'm like, you have my email, like,
yeah. I mean, I kind of get that, like, starting the conversation in the DMs, and then you can move it over, like, if you haven't talked in a while.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just wish that people weren't so, like, reaching me at every single digital point where they can possibly reach me. It's like, can you give it a break?
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Sigh. Okay. Bring in the guest.
Let's do it.
All right.
Hey ladies, are you looking to grow your own local girl gang?
The Young Professional Women's Association has been named Worcester Region's Best Young Professionals Network for 7 years now.
YPWA offers countless social and professional opportunities to engage and empower local ladies like you and me.
Right now, Girls Just Wanna listeners can get discounted access to YPWA's annual membership.
Go to ypwaworcester.com and enter code PODCAST2025 at checkout to receive $20 off their annual membership. Again, that promo code is PODCAST2025. We hope to see you soon at YPWA events.
Welcome to the show, Allison LeMay.
Thank you, Dominique and Katrina. I appreciate the opportunity to share our story.
Absolutely. Yeah. And you are the owner of Budget Blinds of Worcester and Holden. Is
Correct.
That right?
You got it. Owner and lead designer.
Oh, special. Very fancy. Okay, so tell us about, give us the overview of what you do.
Yes, I am the owner and designer of the local Budget Blinds here in Worcester and Holden. And as a Budget Blinds owner, I'm actually a franchise owner.
Right. So it's a larger company. You have a franchise location.
Exactly. Right. Exactly. So we're all individually owned and operated franchises. Okay. But we're backed by the power of a corporate entity that negotiates our warranties, our pricing, and obviously gives us like great support from a national advertising perspective. So when you purchase a Budget Blinds franchise, you actually purchase specific zip codes. Okay. So the areas that I can do work in is all of Worcester, so the whole city, beautiful city of Worcester, as well as Holden, Massachusetts. Okay. So that's not to say that that we can't help you in other areas. I would just refer you. So, for example, say there's a client that's listening to our podcast right now that's from Westboro. I would just simply refer you to my partners that cover the Westboro location. Okay. So it's a great model. You know, sometimes I get that, well, gosh, Allison, isn't that limiting? It's actually not. not. Because I like to think that I can kind of grow vertically and get my community roots really, really deep.
Yeah.
And when you're not competing with people around you,
Right.
you support each other.
Yeah.
So we always kind of say that the rising tide lifts all ships with our franchisee system. So I'll be at a unique window opening, or I'll kind of hit some sort of a snag, like, gosh, what would you do here? Like my partners, my neighbors are a phone call away.
So tell us what budget blinds, and I think the name is kind of like self-explanatory, but
Sure.
What do you offer? Different
Sure.
types of products, different types of solutions. What are you doing? What are you offering for your clients?
Sure. So yes, obviously we are budget blinds. So of course we offer a variety of different types of blinds.
Sure.
But that's not the only thing we offer. I always kind of joke, if you've seen it out there on a window, you've seen it on Instagram, you've seen it on Pinterest, we offer it.
Yeah.
So we offer a variety of custom solutions that go on windows. So we do blinds, we do a lot of shutters, a lot of interior shutters. We do beautiful custom drapery. We do automation with roller shades, cellular shades, and everything in between. So that's why I say it's kind of a depth and breadth like none other. So if you can dream it, we can build it.
Amazing. And
yes.
So how long have you been doing this? When did you get the franchise?
Sure. I actually purchased it in 2020.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Has it been going okay?
It has been going fantastic.
Awesome.
It's been growing every year. I love the transition that I made into this business, and it's been a phenomenal opportunity for myself as well as my family. So,
what were you doing before? Do you have like an interior design background, or were you doing something totally different?
I do not have an interior design background. I have a large interest and a passion for it, but I don't have a formal background or formal schooling. Yeah. So the first part of my career, I was actually in financial services sales with Fidelity Investments for about 10 years. And I do feel that without that background, without that training, without that experience, I would not be the salesperson and business person I am today. So I'm very, very grateful for my time at Fidelity. This is not a plug for them, but
it's a little free advertising.
Yeah, exactly. But I just see the sales skills, just the general. I always kind of joke that I got an MBA without having to pay for it at Fidelity. So, but then I started having my family. I had 2 boys at the time. And I was traveling a lot, and it was before COVID, when working from home was so prevalent. So it was just I needed to take a pause. So I actually stayed at home with my family, but my father owned a budget blinds franchise down on the South Shore.
Oh, interesting.
So while I was home with my 2, I have 3 now, but with my 2 boys at the time, I managed his schedule. I learned the business, did some marketing. So really got kind of engrossed in the business. And, my kids are obviously growing, had a 3rd. And then it came to the time in 2020 where I'm like, I'm ready to do this. I'm ready to take over. Now he was on the South Shore. I live in Grafton. So obviously a 60-mile drive each way would not be ideal for a commute. So he's of retirement age. So he got a great offer for his business, sold it to another franchisee down in that area. And then I purchased Worcester and Holden, because that's what was available at the time.
Nice.
And the rest is history. So I kind of joke, we've had a little bit of a role reversal. Yeah. So now I do all the in-person sales, relationship management, marketing, getting the word out, and he manages my schedule, the install schedule, bookkeeping, things of that nature.
Oh, good. Okay, so still very much a family business, working together, supporting each other.
Exactly.
Oh, that's nice.
Yes, it's great. It's great.
Okay, so tell us a little bit more about like the product offering. So like I know you're saying blinds and motorized. Like I don't know anything about this stuff, obviously.
That's okay.
But all these different products. Could you give us like an overview, maybe? How do you? I guess you come into a space, right, and does each product have a certain functional use where it's like, okay, you see this window and you know exactly what the product is, or is it mostly dependent on the client's like stylistic likings and what they like, or is it like there's going to be a certain one answer?
Sure. Okay. So fantastic question. I am a needs-based person. Okay. So I think it's really important to ask clients what's important. So, what are your privacy needs? What are your lighting needs? What are you envisioning here? I see that you have a lot of natural elements in your room. Do you kind of like that vibe? You want kind of a botanical, earthy, organic type vibe. So I really rely on my clients to tell me what they want.
Mm-hmm.
Do I, when I walk into a room, it sounds a little cuckoo.
Right.
Do I have, I'm like, oh, I know exactly what we're going to do.
Yeah.
But I like to, it's not my house. It's not my
Yeah.
office. It's not my space. So I really try to get an idea of what the clients need and go from there.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a needs-based sales process.
Sure.
I'm never going to sell somebody something that they don't need,
Yeah.
don't want, don't like.
Mm-hmm. And so some of the offerings that you
Yes.
have, right? So do people like know? So I think of this, right? So my parents, when we were growing up, we lived in a very remote area out in the
Yes.
boonies, right?
Mhm.
My mom was always like curtains, curtains, curtains.
Sure.
My dad, who grew up in the city, and my mom did too, but then when she moved to the country, saw no need for blinds. We
Mhm.
didn't have we don't really have neighbors anywhere close by. We don't
Right.
need that type of privacy. So she was always curtains, curtains, curtains. My dad was always like, well, I would have liked blinds, you know? And so then when my parents got divorced and he moved elsewhere to a city, he like was so excited that he had blinds again.
Yeah.
So do you encounter that a lot, that like some people are just like, oh, like I want blinds, I love blinds, versus, oh, I want shutters,
Yes.
or versus I am a big curtains and
Mhm.
drapes person.
Yes.
Can you talk about
Like
those different offerings that you have to meet everybody's individual preferences?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So yes, I do run into that. And,
Yeah.
and it's always fun because sometimes you're part marriage counselor because one partner likes this, the other one likes this, and you try to find the
middle
the
ground.
common ground.
Yeah.
So yes, I mean, I will walk into a home and someone will say, you know, I wouldn't even have you here if I didn't have a privacy issue. So when it's during the day and it's, you know, I want a full view, I want light everywhere, I want to be able to see all the trees around my home, around my office. You know, that's going to lead me to a shade type product, because shades, you know, typically close up nice and tight so they won't block your view.
Mm-hmm.
Or there will be people who they work overnight, you know, they're healthcare workers, or, you know, their job has them sleeping during the day. So they need complete darkness in their bedroom. I have solutions for that.
Mm-hmm.
And that would just be like a roller shade product that, I mean, it's pretty amazing how much light it blocks. So it really, you know, it depends on the client. Did I answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I know you brought a sample too.
Yes,
So what
I
is
did.
What is
I
this
did.
that you have?
Yeah, so let me pull this over. So this is a very cool product, okay? You know, the nice part about working with budget blinds is that we offer a variety of different product offerings, different brands. You know, we're not tied to one specific product line.
Katrina's gonna give a
perfect.
little angle
All
shot
right.
for you.
Perfect. I love that. All right. So what I have here,
A little bit down more. There you go. All right.
what I have here is a very cool working hand sample
Okay.
from a company by the name of Lutron Electronics. Have you heard of Lutron before?
No.
I bet you have and you don't even realize it.
Maybe.
Okay. So Lutron invented the dimmer switch back in the 60s.
Okay.
Okay. So you've probably seen, I mean, if you've seen a dimmer switch, you know, everyone has a dimmer switch offering, but you've probably seen the dimmer switch in homes or offices before. But anyways, so they invented it in the 60s and they became obsessed with controlling light.
Mm-hmm.
And they realized that they couldn't control, you can't truly control light on the inside of your home without being able to control the ambient light coming in from the outside.
Yeah.
So they developed a really sweet, a really reliable suite of automated shades. And, you know, first and foremost, Lutron is a technology company, so their automation is truly second to none. There's close seconds, but second to none. Super reliable, and they have the quietest motors and the longest battery life on the market. So, and I'm getting, you know, questions about automation. I'm not necessarily, you know, I always talk about automation. So here it is. Do you hear the motor?
No.
You do not,
No.
right? Super quiet. Right?
Wow.
So you can keep, you know, automated shades as simple as just pressing a button and it's going to go up and go down. But what the questions that I'm getting lately with clients is, especially people who are building new homes, hey, Allison, my house is totally, it's a smart home. It's totally wired for this feature and to turn on these lights and to create this scene and handle this type of temperature control. So you can get as simple as, like I said, pressing a button and lifting and lowering these shades, or you can tie it into your whole home automation system and have them open at sunrise to wake you up in the morning. have it closed by the time you walk into your bedroom, or at certain times of day where you know you're getting blasting sun and the heat or your AC is going. You can have them closed. So it's a very cool product. You know, it is very cool, but there's a lot of value built into the automation as well, because there is a lot of energy efficiency built into this. Because if you can tie it into your you know, your home heating and your HVAC system, it's going to help save on your heating and cooling costs as well.
Yeah.
So clients come to you, right?
Yes.
How do you frequently, right? Like, are they reaching out directly? So you mentioned you've worked with a couple of our past guests.
Yes.
Dossie Snow of House of Color.
Exactly.
Stephanie Ramey, who owns the O Shop and does, you know, everything else because she's a very busy lady.
Yes. She's like Miss Worcester.
Yes. So you've been to, you know, other clients. So how did they find you, right? Do they think, oh, I want to redesign, you know, the feel of my living room and I should reach out to you? Or, and maybe both. People are doing, you know, maybe you get referrals from interior designers or from contractors who are renovating a home or new builds. Like, how are people coming to you? What stage are they finding you to do? Because to me, right, the budgets, the blinds, the curtains, the drapes, right, the window treatments overall seems like such a niche, part of the home, which can make a huge difference.
It's the
when
earrings,
do they
it's the
come?
jewelry.
Right, they come to you. When do they? What's that process like?
Okay, so people find us in a variety of ways.
Yeah.
You know, it's obviously in this day and age very important to have a great, you know, Google presence and have, you know, fantastic reviews. So, you know, when I walk into the home, you know, 50-50 chance they found me through Google. You know, just a simple Google search. And I have close to 150 5-star reviews. I'm at 143 now.
Very nice.
So that gives people a level of comfort to reach out. But the nice part is I'm celebrating my 5-year anniversary in September. So I'm really getting a lot of great referral business. So happy clients are going to tell their friends. They're going to tell their family. So I am getting a fair amount of referrals. Another nice thing is that being here in the great city of Worcester, there's a huge commercial opportunity.
Oh, okay.
So I have, you know, I have several relationships just here right in the city that are kind of perpetual, where they have, you know, they might be renovating a space and they need new shades, or you know, an area of the building has been overlooked, so they need new shades. So that's a really nice, that's a wonderful blessing to have in a business, to kind of have some of those, you know, perpetual type annuity relationships. And then, you know, another way that we're getting leads is just by, you know, getting out into the community, networking. I joined the Worcester Chamber. I've actually been part of the Worcester Chamber since the beginning, but I've really gotten a little bit more involved and engaged in it just this year, and it pays off in dividends because you're meeting other fellow business owners that share the same vision, and it's amazing when you, again, the rising tide. When you all band together, the synergies that you can find are just phenomenal. And then last, I mentioned, you know, that parent franchise company. They do a decent job of getting the word out from a national recognition. So, you know, they manage our website and they will advertise for us at a national type level. So, you know, it's a national find, it's a local model. So it's a variety of different avenues where we get our, you know, our business.
Sure.
Does that answer the question?
And walk us through the process. So someone like Stephanie calls you up, someone like Dossie Snow calls you up. Step one, what are you doing? You go to their house and assess the space. Are you bringing samples? Then you go back to the drawing board, figure it out. Maybe you show them more options. What is the whole process like?
Okay. So it is a complimentary consultation. So once we get you, you know, once we have a kind of a little bit of an exploratory phone call, you know, 5-10 minutes, just to get an understanding of what your project is, so I'm allocating enough time for you. And then, you know, like I said, I do a lot of residential, I do office, I do healthcare. So depending on the level on the job, depending on the job, you know, I book the appropriate amount of time. But so a homeowner, for example, you know, on average, we'll say it's about a 90-minute consultation. And it all depends on the decision-making skills of the client, right? Like some people are like, nope, I want white cell shades, every room in my house, I'm done. You know, I could be in and out in 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Or sometimes you're just like, you're starting from square one and we're kind of going room by room and doing different things in the room. So I walk in the home, and like I said at the beginning of this podcast, I like to ask a lot of questions.
Yeah.
The more information that clients can give me about what's important to them, their privacy needs, the look they're going for, their budget, what they feel comfortable spending, because I don't want to present something to somebody that's going to be way out of reach. I want to really try to find the best solutions for them that work at their budget level. So we have like a kind of an exploratory type conversation for like the first 15 or so minutes, and then I narrow down the large universe of window coverings, because it is overwhelming, right? If I were to empty, you asked like how, if I bring samples, if I were to empty my van at everyone's house, they'd be like, okay, Allison, thank you so much for the education, but see ya. Paralysis by analysis. That's why I try to ask a lot of questions and just really funnel everything down so we can find, maybe the we'll say two products that could work well in the space. And then from there, I have hand samples that I will bring in and demonstrate so all the clients can see, touch, and feel. So I'm bringing the showroom to the client instead of having to go back and forth to a showroom and this color might work, and you bring it home like that color doesn't work. So it's a very efficient and convenient process because you can see everything right in your home or in your office. So from there, we look at the hand sample, and then once we say, yep, it's shutters we're doing, or it's roller shades, I bring in the roller shade book. We go through the colors, the color options, and then the hard work for the client is done. And then once we have the product selection and the fabric selection, I measure all the windows, and then I'm able to give you a proposal right then and there, usually right then and there at the meeting, so clients can decide what they want to do.
I can picture exactly how it would go at my house. I live in a condo association.
Oh, okay.
So like basically anytime I go for a walk, I'm like looking at all my neighbors' houses because they're all identical.
Yes.
So I'm like, oh, I like what they did in their front lawn, or I like what they,
Yes.
And I have neighbors that have shades and I don't have shades, and we have a bow window, and they clearly have shades that can all be individually like
Operated.
And I'm like, oh, that seems so nice. So
Nice.
I know. I also wonder if you get that too. Like people call and they're like, I want what my neighbor has. Like, I don't know
all
what
the time. All the time. I'll say, well, so and so has this. Oh, they have that. Well, then I want that too. Yeah.
And as far as like the product that you're working with, so does Budget Blind have its own like signature line? Are there certain brand names that like you carry? It seems like you have like a wide variety of options.
Yes. So I definitely have a wide variety of options. I have, I'm a certified Lutron dealer. I'm also a certified Hunter Douglas dealer. Those are kind of the two, one of the many window covering companies out there. But I also have a variety of other manufacturers, Norman Window Fashions to name one, Draper, that I do a lot of business with. So I lean on various manufacturers for the situation. So I don't, there are some dealers out there that will just focus on one product line and sell all of that. But I think it's nice to have a variety of product solutions at a variety of prices so you can find the best solution for clients. So as far as, does Budget Blinds have some product specific collections? We do, yes. So there's a couple lines that you can only get particular fabrics from us here at Budget Blinds, or a particular product line from us here at Budget Blinds. So there is some of that kind of product differentiation that maybe some of my competitors don't have access to.
And so, like I was saying, Budget Blinds, the window treatment of it all seems very niche to me, right? And you offer something very specific, which is why you're so good at it and you can specialize in this. And I'm sure that's why people turn to you as the expert for, this one thing. Why, and maybe that's the answer, maybe I just answered my own question, but why would someone locally call up Allison at Budget Blinds as opposed to stroll down the aisles of a Lowe's or a Home Depot or a Home Goods and just buy whatever curtains or blinds they can find? What is that value proposition that you add?
Sure. So I'm going to ask you a question. Do you like going to the big box stores and trying to get help?
No, of course not.
So I kind of joke. Home Depot, Lowe's, great to go buy your rakes, maybe your mulch, get maybe some lawn furniture. But generally speaking, when you need help with a niche product like this and you're trying to get a perfect fit in a window and you don't feel comfortable with your measuring skills, don't feel comfortable with your design skills, it's great to have a local expert. Okay. Yeah. So I always joke that, the big box stores are probably one of my biggest referral sources, right?
Right.
So that's one thing that's going to make us different is that I'm going to come to the house, and then again, you remember the whole story. I'm going to bring everything to your house. Whereas you want to go back and forth to a big box store, bringing samples.
So definitely convenience is one reason.
Convenience, efficiency, and I'd like to think that I give good advice. I mean, it's been proven. I mean, over the past five years that I have give some good advice, because sometimes people will think a certain thing works for their home, and I'll say, so sorry, but do you want your window to open?
Right.
Yes, I do. Okay, then we can't do that.
Yeah, I know. I'm like this close to hiring someone to paint my living room, because as Dominique knows, I've been intending to paint my living room for like a year.
And then there's that.
And I know I can do it. I've done it before.
Yes.
But I could also just hire someone else to do it. Now, blinds, I've never done that before.
Yes.
So like I know I'm not even going to attempt it on my own.
So part of it too is the customization, the personalization, the excellent customer service, and also you do the install, correct?
We take care of your installation.
Yeah, so from start to finish, you cover it all.
It's a full service product. It's a full service offering. I have a fantastic installation team.
Good.
They're subject matter experts. They not only work with me, they also work with other Budget Blinds franchises. We talked about that network.
Sure.
So, I mean, they are doing this every day, all day long. They have all the product knowledge for all the various automations. So, and I can just count on them, making a shine in people's homes and in offices. So, so that is, what makes us different. But I think, kind of the icing on the cake about working with us is our warranty. We talked about that, that corporate negotiation. Our warranty is second to none. This is, again, what differentiates us. It's a 5-year, no questions asked warranty.
Wow.
So what that means is, yes, something goes awry with your shade or your blind.
Your child rips it down.
That's where it comes into play. I call them life proof for 5 years. So if your child takes a Sharpie marker on their brand new shades, right, that's actually covered under warranty.
And I have a 4-year-old, so that's
immediately
where my head.
You get it. The big culprit lately hasn't necessarily been kids; it's been cats.
Which
cats.
we also
scratching.
Okay, so I just got a new window, new bow window.
Yes,
very expensive.
Yes.
New screens, 2 cats that keep.
Yes, they hook into the screens. We're both cat people.
Yeah.
My curtains in all my rooms are like the threads like pulling out because they stretch on them.
So actually, yes, we probably do need a solution that would combat cat
combat
claws.
kitties.
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly.
So that's what's kind of nice about our warranty
That
is that
is
it's
awesome.
it's covered. You can get what you want, what appeals to you, and not necessarily have to worry about it. You can enjoy your home. Yes.
Right.
Yeah. Sleeping easy at night.
All right. Tell people where to find you online if they are in similar positions.
Yes. So it's really simple. It's a national website. Just do budgetblinds.com, and once you put in your zip code, you'll get routed right to me.
Okay.
And my website. You can also just do old-fashioned phone call, 774-670-8161, or shoot me an email, LeMay@budgetblinds.com. Also on all the socials, Budget Blinds of Worcester and Holden on Facebook, as well as Instagram.
Perfect.
Awesome. Okay.
And we end every episode by asking the guests to shout out another local woman in business.
So would it be okay if I did 2?
Yes.
Okay. So I talked about the chamber, my relationship with the chamber this year. Well, I've built a great rapport with another Allison Eisner over at Closet and Storage Systems in Auburn. They are a full service closet and storage solution company, and they can go all over Massachusetts. They are not limited by town. So they do beautiful closets, they do shower doors, and they also do mirrors.
Oh, good.
So
you guys probably play well together.
We have a fantastic synergy.
Awesome.
And then you also asked about designers that I work with. I have a great relationship with Christina DePina, who is over in Tatanack Square. She just opened a fantastic studio in Tatanack. You have to go visit it. It's beautiful, and she specializes in kitchen and interior design.
Nice. Okay. Very cool.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Allison,
No problem.
for coming on the
Thank
show
you.
today.
Thank
It's
you,
been great to meet you and learn more.
You too. Thank you.
Thanks. Want to show your love for all the local ladies in business? Girls Just Want a Podcast merch is now available on Etsy.
From stickers to mugs and hats to tumblers, you can rep your favorite gal gang wherever you go.
Your purchase helps us continue to rent studio space, upgrade our recording equipment, and pay for editing software.
Find Girls Just Want a merch on Katrina and Create's Etsy shop. Link is in the show notes.
It is time for Heart It or Hate It.
Heart it or hate it.
My first one is Heart It or Hate It. Hot dogs.
I'm gonna go heart it.
Yeah.
I have not had one in a little while. Like I would say the only time I have a hot dog is at a baseball game.
Okay.
Just because I'm like there and I'm in the mood.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can't really think of a scenario. Like I wouldn't buy hot dogs for my own personal house. If you're at a barbecue, they're usually offering hamburger, chicken, hot dog. So like I would definitely choose the hamburger or the chicken before I chose the hot dog. But I don't hate them.
Yeah.
So like I could have one
and it's
at
that
a ballpark.
Good ballpark.
It's that ballpark. That ballpark meal.
It's that. What do they call it? Like a
Fenway Frank.
Yeah.
At Fenway, yeah.
I heart them. I've been on a hot dog kick lately.
Oh yeah.
I've been eating them at home.
You buy them at the grocery store and you make them at home. Do you buy the buns too?
Oh yeah.
So isn't it like the same number of hot dogs that come in a pack aren't the same number of buns that come in a pack? That's so obnoxious.
Yeah. And Jamie saw me eating a hot dog and he was like, I want to try one. And I'm like, great. So he did. And he didn't like the hot dog, but
he liked the bun.
Good job trying. He loves himself a hot dog bun.
Well, yeah, it's bread.
Right.
It's literally like white bread.
He asks for a hot dog and I give him a bun.
Oh, come on. Boo. Boo.
And then I eat the hot dog. No.
Oh my God.
But some people like hate hot dogs. They're like disgusted.
Oh,
by
I
them.
know. I get that. I understand that. But I just think like there are worse things.
Yeah.
There are other things that you could be disgusted by.
Yeah. No, I'm a big fan. So
yeah. I also feel like growing up, balling on that lower income budget,
yeah.
hot dogs were doable for the fam.
With a slice of white bread.
Yeah. Like I would go over to a friend's house and she had a smaller family. It was just her and her brother and her two parents. And they would have like steak like at least once a week. And like whatever.
No.
Which I was like, I didn't grow up on steak, so now I don't care for steak.
We would have steak, but it was like a couple times a year. Yeah.
Okay.
No, we would have the hot dog on a piece of bread, ramen noodles.
Oh yeah.
McDonald's. Yeah.
Good times.
Anyway, what's next?
Heart it or hate it, to-do lists. I think we've done similar things in the past, but not the actual to-do list.
You know what I'm going to say?
Oh, I hate you already.
Heart it.
Get out. You're so full of it.
I've been using to-do lists.
Have you?
Consistently for like the last week and a half, actually.
Oh my God, a week and a half?
Yeah.
She can't be stopped.
Actually, I forgot yesterday. But other than that, your girl has been on it.
Wow. New year, new you.
It's June.
It only took you 6 months.
I know. No. Yeah, I think we've talked about how I was going like back and forth about how on earth can I like keep my life together, and I've tried like digital to-do lists, and I'm back to writing it down. And I have been enjoying like just taking 5 to 10 minutes to myself in the morning just to like write everything down and see it.
Yeah.
And I've been doing it in my bullet journal. So I like create the page and I enjoy doing that.
Yeah. I heard it.
I'll probably do that for another like week or so.
We'll check back in next episode.
Yeah,
I heard it. I've always been a to-do list girly, but I will say like I'm even better at a to-do list on paper than I am on the ones I have like in my phone. Like I do sometimes use the reminders app. We've talked before about how I have like a habit tracker on my phone. Yeah. So I can like swipe off things as I do them every day. Yeah. But I also love just for like work stuff, just planning out and personal stuff, but just like actually writing it down. Yeah. On my agenda book like every week. And I do the same thing like every Thursday/Friday. I spend like 10 minutes writing out my whole next week and kind of filling in like what I'm going to be doing each day. And I like actually truly enjoy that time. Yeah. Which is so nerdy, but I love it.
Well, I used to just like start my work day and I would like dive right in. And now it's like, no, like just take a breath.
Have a sense of direction now.
Yeah. Yeah. It's been nice.
All right. What else you got?
My next one is Heart It or Hate It, the Cape Cod bracelet, which is the silver bracelet with the ball, with the screw ball. Yeah.
I'm
For
gonna
those
go.
of you who don't know.
I'm gonna go hate it.
Yeah.
Never had one, never wanted one, still don't want one now. Don't really care.
I know that like they used to be a big
They used to be a thing, then they went away, and now I saw they're coming back again.
Are they coming back?
That's what I saw.
I put mine on today. I had to have my husband to help me. You can still see the mark where I was trying to like scrape it back onto my wrist so where I got mine, they like fit you for it, and I got it like, I don't know, 10 years ago. I think my wrist is a little bit bigger than it was back then. So it's a little bit tighter than I would have loved. But yeah, I put on all my Cape Cod jewelry because I was like, it's summer, baby. Let's do it.
Yeah, I saw that they're coming back into style. It's like a thing.
Well, that's exciting.
Yeah.
Good
There
time
you
for
go.
me to put
Now
it
you're
back
ready.
on.
You've officially lived through the death and rebirth of a trend.
Yeah. And I like was on top of it without even realizing.
Kind of like when we talked about ponchos.
Which are coming back, baby.
Yeah, you heard it here first. Don't forget it. And don't you forget it. We haven't worn our ponchos yet.
Can't wait for that day. I have been wearing my blanket that has snaps.
I know, but like we had talked about it towards the end of winter. So now what we got to do is remember next winter.
Yeah.
First like winterish podcast episode. We both come in ponchos.
We have to wear ponchos.
Make ponchos great again. All right. Okay, final hard it or hate it for this episode is hard it or hate it ironing.
Hate it.
Of course you do. Yeah.
Absolutely hate
What do you
it.
do about wrinkly clothes?
I wear wrinkly clothes.
Okay, I was gonna say your solution is that it's not a problem.
Sometimes if I'm like, oh, I want to wear this dress coming up soon, and I see that it's wrinkly, I'll like hang it in the bathroom for a few days and see if that just like solves my problem for me. If it doesn't, I will bring out the iron.
Oh, so you have an iron. You do have one.
I
You
do
just
have
don't use
one.
it. Okay.
Yeah, I don't use it. I use it maybe a couple times a year if it's like I really want to look presentable for a certain something and the thing has wrinkles on it. But yeah, I mean,
I ask because I've always liked the look of iron clothes. Today this shirt is a little bit wrinkly, so don't use this as the basis. But I used to iron all my clothes like for the week, like religiously on Sundays.
I feel like I remember you're like an ironer.
I am very much like,
You're very neat.
yeah. And so like back when I was working an office job, like I'd make sure like I'd have like outfits ready for the week and like things are ironed so I don't feel like a hot mess in the morning.
But you were also like consistently wearing things that benefit from being ironed.
Right, because I was in the office. Now
Right.
it's like I work out like every day. Like I work, as we've talked about, I work part-time at the gym. So like I work from home in my PJs and then I change into gym clothes.
Right.
So like nothing ever
Like
needs to get ironed.
I've never had a job that was like professional attire. They were always business casual.
Okay.
So I
So
would wear t-shirt and jeans on the reg.
right. But then even like my t-shirts get wrinkly. So anyways, so I love a good ironing. It is tedious, but like it's worth it. And so this came up in conversation because my friend Catherine doesn't have an iron, and like does not own them. And so she'll like if there's something that she has that's wrinkly, she's like I don't even really know what her solution is. Like maybe throw it in the dryer, maybe hang it up in the bathroom. But my mom is in the process of moving and like has an extra, like merging two households, has an extra ironing board. And she was like, do you need this? And I was like, no, I already have one. And then I was like, oh my God, Catherine needs it.
Yeah.
So now she's halfway there. Now all she needs is the iron.
Yep.
So
Do you have like a standing ironing board? Mine's just like a tabletop thing.
oh, I have the full, like
Yeah.
the full blown, full size standing one that folds up.
Which I think that is better if you're like
Yeah.
sitting down to iron or stand like you
Yeah.
have a plan to iron a whole bunch of things all
Yeah.
at once. I am just
you just
a
have like
one
a
and
one
go.
item. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, but I didn't even realize. Like I was like, oh, I guess that's a thing that maybe adults don't have.
I think especially recently. I think
Yeah.
back in the day of like housewives, you know,
Yeah.
houses used to have ironing boards built into like the kitchen.
Okay, so when we put ironing on the Hearted or Hated stories, I'm also going to ask people like, do you own an iron?
Yeah.
Like, do you own an ironing board?
Yeah. I don't remember buying it. I think I was moving into my first apartment with the boyfriend at the time, and I was like, I'm gonna be like this type of person.
Yeah. Yep.
And So I think I just bought like the cheapest things at Target, and hey, here they are all these years later. So,
and on that note, that's Heart It or Hate It.
We will see you next week.
Later, ladies.
Later.